what does it take to pull off the greatest heists in history? Join us on a heart-pounding journey as we unravel the secrets behind the top 10 greatest heists of all time. From cunning disguises to meticulous planning, these audacious acts of thievery defy logic and challenge our notion of security. Will you dare to enter the minds of these ingenious criminals and discover the thrill of outsmarting the seemingly impenetrable? Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the limits of human ingenuity and ask yourself, could I ever be that bold? Number 10. Crown Jewels Robbery. Colonel Thomas Blood is known as one of the most courageous and treacherous individuals in the annals of United Kingdom history. On May 9, 1671, he and 3 other men broke into the Tower of London and proceeded to take the Crown Jewels of England, which consisted of a crown, an orb, and a scepter. Among the stolen items was also a scepter. Blood managed to get himself imprisoned while they were on their way out, but after his release, he said, "I'll answer to none but the king himself." Blood was well aware that the monarch Charles had a soft spot for bold rogues, and he believed he was capable of talking his way out of his unpleasant circumstance with the help of the monarch. And it was successful. Not only did the king forgive him, but he also granted him ownership of properties in Ireland. Number 9. Wilcox train robbery. It wasn't given the name the Wild West for nothing after all. On June 2nd, 1899, infamous members of the Hole in the Wall gang, located in southeastern Wyoming, flagged down a Union Pacific train, which caused the train to come to a complete halt. Then they proceeded to disassemble the locomotive and carriages, blow up the bridge, and empty the safe of what would now equal approximately $1 to $1.5 million. Of course, heists of this nature continued into the 20th century, as seen by the Great Train Robbery in 1963, in which a Royal Mail train that was travelling to London was robbed of close to $65 million in today's money. Number 8. Brinksmat warehouse robbery. The Brinksmat warehouse robbery was one of the greatest thefts in recent history. During this heist, around $111 million worth of jewels, cash and gold were taken from the Heathrow International Trading Estate, which is situated close to Heathrow Airport and approximately 40 minutes west of London. Johnson Matthey Bankers Limited, a chemical firm that was established more than 200 years ago, was the rightful owner of a significant portion of the money. 6 individuals were responsible for completing the task, of whom 2 were ultimately found guilty and sentenced to prison time. However, the vast majority of the stolen gold bullion was never located and returned to its owner. In the years that followed, the historic heist was the subject of a great deal of cinematic and documentary attention. Number 7. British Bank of the Middle East heist. Beirut was the location and the year was 1976. And on the 20th of January, one of the largest bank robberies in history was successfully carried out at the British Bank of the Middle East. After breaking through one of the bank's walls, the gang of men with ties to the Palestine Liberation Organization proceeded to empty the vault of what is thought to be the equivalent of $133 million in today's currency. This consisted of gold in the forms of bars, jewels, and sufficient foreign currency to finance more than a few travels around the world. The stolen property was soon taken out of the country, and the perpetrators of the crime were never brought to justice. Number 6. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum theft. On the day of St. Patrick's Day in the year 1990, 2 individuals dressed as police officers entered the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, where they proceeded to tie up the security guards and steal 13 items of art. In addition to paintings by Manet and Degas, notable works including Vermeer's The Concert and Rembrandt's The Storm on the Sea of Galilee were taken. The overall worth of all of their loot amounts to $500 million. The perpetrators of the crime were never brought to justice, and the museum continues to this day to maintain an open offer of a substantial reward to anyone who can provide information that leads to the safe return of the artworks. 2 really skilled con artists, to say the least. Number 5. Pink Panthers ring. What do you think Interpol came up with to term the international network of diamond thieves when they started robbing the globe of its most priceless valuables? Why, it's no other than the Pink Panthers, of course. The group, which got its name from the well-known Pink Panther film series, had been linked to a large number of robberies all over the world, including in Switzerland, France, the United States of America, and Japan. One of their most well-known robberies involves 4 guys posing as ladies in order to steal more than $105 million worth of gems from the Harry Winston jewelry store in Paris. The major issue with these criminals is that they have a history of breaking out of jail, as seen by the multiple escapes that have taken place over the course of their incarceration. Number 4. Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Burglary. On the first weekend of April in 2015, a gang of guys broke into the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Company by disabling an elevator shaft, rappelling down the building, and using a power drill to drill through a vault to gain entry. The group made off with a significant portion of the underground facility's assets over the course of the weekend, which was estimated to be worth a total of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the end, a few months later, the guys who were involved were apprehended, and all of them, with exception of one, were sentenced to significant prison terms. The theft has been given the moniker of the largest burglary in the history of English law. Number 3. The Antwerp Diamond Heist. Trust is an essential component of any successful heist. Just ask Leonardo Notarbartolo. As a means to an end, he pretended for many years to be an Italian diamond dealer working in the diamond area of Antwerp. After he had solidified his position inside the community, he and his squad launched their attack. After everything was said and done, the contents of 123 of the 160 safety deposit boxes were stolen after the weekend of February 15, 2003. To this day, the police investigators who are looking into the case do not know exactly how Notarbartolo and his gang of thieves gained access to the Antwerp World Diamond Centre. However, they do know that after that weekend, 123 of the safes had their contents stolen. Even though Notarbartolo was apprehended in the end, the diamonds that were taken have not yet been found. Number 2. Russian Hacking Ring. Technology provides a number of advantages, but it also has a number of disadvantages. One of these disadvantages is the capability for individuals to remotely target financial institutions in order to acquire monetary gain for themselves. It is believed that a Russian hacking ring was responsible for thefts totaling $1 billion during the 2010s. 2014 was the year when a Russian cybersecurity business first uncovered evidence of their criminal activity, but to this day, no one has been apprehended. Phishing emails spread software that infects financial institutions, and hackers occasionally manipulate ATMs to disperse cash in a manner that suits their purposes. The urgency of ensuring that your defenses are up to date cannot be overstated. Number 1. Central Bank of Iraq Heist. In March of 2003, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein sent an order to his son Qasai Hussein instructing him to enter the Central Bank of Iraq and retrieve close to $1 billion in cash. As the invasion by the United States was only a matter of days away, Hussein believed that it was prudent to protect his financial structure. Therefore, without further ado, Qasai ordered that the money be removed from the bank and loaded into trucks. This operation would take 5 hours to complete, which is a witness to the sheer amount of money that was being stolen. When you can take $1 billion in cash, armed with nothing more than a handwritten note from your father, you know you're the son of an all-powerful dictator. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.